Hey everyone, in this short video, I'm going to show you how to report your MAT taxes if you're in Toronto or the Greater Toronto Area. So I'm in Toronto, so I'm doing this as an example. I'm going to show you where to report, how much to report, how to report, and we're going to do it together live in as quickly as possible. So to find this website, you can Google search MAT Toronto. I'm sure it'll come up. But I actually created this handy guide on my website. We manage Airbnbs in Toronto, and we try to help people as much as possible. So you can click on this link. I'll bring you here. Now we file your MAT taxes. So over here, you just put in your license number and your Ontario driver's license number. Pretty simple. And you're going to click filing a new report. You're going to choose the period. So for me, I'm doing Q2 2026. And very important to know, you only have 1 month to report this. So you must report it by July 30th, 2026. Um, Obviously, only report if you've actually had short-term rentals during this period, which I have. And very important to know, Airbnb in Toronto and Mississauga remits for you. So if you only use Airbnb, this is super simple. You just click no. You click yes, and then you just submit. It's super simple. But for me, I'm on booking.com and I get some revenue from there. So now I have to click no. I'm also on Airbnb, so I'm clicking yes and other. I'm going to type booking.com. And also, if I have my own direct bookings, I would add that here too. And you have to add the number of nights not including Airbnb, because remember, they report for you. So I'm going to add the number of nights where I've had guests stay at booking.com. And what was the total number for entire unit, because that's what I'm doing. If you're doing partial unit, meaning you live in one room and you rent out the other rooms, you would put that number here. But that's not relevant to me. Municipal accommodation tax calculation. So basically, you're going to answer no for most cases when they ask if you were paid up front. In some cases, you might have a direct booking and maybe a family pays like June 20th for 3 weeks up front, but they paid up front. You're going to have to put yes. But for most people, it'd be no. It's very few situations that happens. And did you collect any revenue from guests who were exempt from being charged MAT? So this is mostly, as far as I know, for people who have stayed over 28 days, because that is exempt from short-term rental regulations and therefore MAT taxes. Me personally, I just don't include any 28-day stays here. It's just a lot simpler instead of adding 23 plus my 28-day stays and then subtracting it here. I just say no. Honestly, I didn't have any, so it's easy for me to say no. And then you add in the total amount here that you brought in, and it will calculate how much you owe. You click this after reading through the information, and then you just submit the report. So after you submit, you're going to get taken to this page. Now, here's the tricky part. You don't get anything except this page, so you actually have to print it. I save it as a PDF. And then now you have to manually pay the government. So they don't make it easy to pay them. You actually have to pay through your financial institution. So I'm going to go over some quick mistakes some people make because I've seen it. One of the things that you have to do is report either way. Even if you have zero remittance, you still have to make these quarterly reports, which is kind of annoying. But obviously you don't have to pay anything. The reason for that is when you do your short-term license renewal and you try to renew and you don't have any remittances, you might get an error saying like, hey, you're not up to date. So you have to report zero for each quarter. And this is relevant if you're only on Airbnb, you still have to report it. The other mistake I see people make is submitting it and then not actually paying them the money, which can cause issues later. And the third and worst mistake is people not tracking. So you need to track how many nights, you need to track the revenue. And side note, you also need to track how many short-term rental days you're doing per year because Toronto has a 180-day cap. If you go over and hit 181 days even, they know right away because somehow Airbnb and City of Toronto talk to each other. And when they remit MAT taxes, the government knows. So don't go over 180 days. And this is a service that we provide to all of our clients in the GTA. We track the MAT amounts owed. We track the 180-day short-term rentals so they don't go over. So if you need a property manager that understands these rules, just reach out to us and check out our website if you want some more guides. Hope this helps.